I come from the school of Nina Simone. Nina Simone says the artist is supposed to reflect their surroundings. But I want to take that in a step further. Reflect the surroundings and then dream of the reality that can be. Be a mirror, reflect back what is going on, and then what else is possible. That's how I feel the artist is. Maladome Patrice Some, West African shaman, he talks about how the artist in the modern world is like the shaman, living in between the world of the physical world and the world of the dreams. Keep dreaming, and these things come in, and there's a reason why you get those inspirations and instigations to create or to think or to challenge. It's all the artist's role, so live it. So the next stage is after the event at Hyde Park Picture House, and showing Negus Genesis was to develop Negus Genesis some more and then start the physical R&D of Free. So getting the dancers, doing an audition with dancers / performers, getting them involved, but also continuing to experiment with what freedom means for other people. I worked with Dance United Yorkshire.
This is Gradient Dance Company. We worked with Akeim over a weekend for a creative process to produce Gradient's newest performance, which is called Irate Liberators, and it is taking a look into the theme of freedom, and we use that as one of our starting points for a lot of the creation of the choreography.
Akeim, he's such a light to work with, so the power that he brings into a room, as soon as he walks in, you just know what he's about.
He has such like a new way of thinking about dance and artistry as a whole. Like, I've never met someone that thinks the way that he does. Like, most of the stuff that we've done is like stuff I've never done before. He's the most creative person that I know, like, to date.
Something that came up for us was, and that was used in your solo, is freedom a right or a privilege? Because I think that's something that a few of us feel, that we have a lot of freedom and an awareness that not everybody does. And freedom we know should be a right, but also kind of are aware that it's not, and for a lot of people, and that to say that freedom is a right is almost a privilege, and that's unfortunate. More than unfortunate, but we don't know what to do with. Yeah, that came up a lot.
I think from like this piece as well, like especially when we did the paper and writing what freedom meant for us, I feel like I hadn't thought of, like, it sounds silly, but like the negative sides of freedom. So like people were saying like crying or being alone or like running away, or do you know what I mean, or like moving, and like I hadn't thought of that. Like, you think of freedom obviously very individually, but I think I'd obviously thought of these things but then thought, oh, that's not freedom because that's really negative. But then other people had thought it, and then it made me think, actually, yeah, no, that is freedom to me as well, actually.
So freedom for me is a sense of belonging, and I feel like Akeim's installed that self-belief back in me, because there are times in this project where I struggled with the movement, but the connection that we had as a group, people will come over to me, do we need to work on this? And it just installed my own self-belief, really.
We did an audition in London and an audition in Leeds to get the cast of Free, the actual professional cast. So we got 5 amazing individuals, Aline, Jeremiah, Jemima, Tony, and Maisha. And yeah, man, it felt in the audition, the reason why those people got the job, it felt like they really resonated with the idea of Free, but also the whole dub thing, you know, because I really want, it's about the music as well. Free is really a sandwich that I'm going to be delivering to people. A sandwich of different elements that come together to really help to drive this idea and tell this narrative. So the people had to be people who are comfortable using their voice, because I wanted to sing in moments, or rap. You know, a bit of toasting is coming into the piece. Yeah, we did the audition, and then I had a 3-week process with the performers. But in between that, I spent some time with Sean, the music producer, to mix some of the music and really get the dub feel inside of it. So we only worked with 3 of the songs in those 3 weeks. I kind of made like a plan that we'll do a song a week. It feels quite surreal to be in this space making the piece finally, and very satisfying at the same time. But yeah, super surreal, because this idea has been existing since 2013. To make a piece with original reggae music and that kind of thing, that's been there, and to have the aesthetic being, inspired by skanking and be contemporary dance. But I've never imagined the people who will make that work. I've always, which is good to keep that open, because you don't know who you're gonna meet in life and how they're gonna support bringing things together. So it's been incredible to meet these artists along my own journey, and hopefully this work comes at a good point in their journey to support whatever they get to do in the future.
It's a whole new world. I'm still trying to figure out what it is and how to navigate it, but I'd say so far it's been exploration of movement, of joy in movement, and kind of breaking out of a lot of form that tend to come with dance and with certain dance practices, and letting go of that and kind of reconnecting with our bodies, with how our bodies want to move, and having fun with it.
And so we've been learning a bit of material that Akeim's already made, and also making bits of material ourselves, remixing that all together, and also how can the material sit in our bodies in a natural way but still look like an ensemble group.
Reggae is heart and soul. Reggae is liberation music. Reggae is the emancipation of Africans in the diaspora, of all people, not just Africans. It is the hula hoop that connects and draws everybody in, and everybody in the middle, like, hey, if it's a Mexican wave or the belly dance, the way where everyone's in there, like, worms in the tin, enjoying themselves. And it's like, it's the basis of high level connectivity where there is no separation, no division, all of these lines that create unnecessary space are dissolved, and something much more beautiful and abundant is cultivated. Reggae is the chant for the people to come back home and live a righteous life. It is a natural resource that has yet given back to the land, the people and the culture, the rewards of the wealth of what reggae is.
When Bob Marley says, one thing about music, when it hits you feel no pain. That's reggae. He's talking about reggae music. And he's talking about Jamaican experience, because imagine all the hardship of, yes, being descendants of the slave trade and so on, and now you have your independence in this country and you're finding a new way to be. This music was the music of the remedy, of the medicine for people. So for me, reggae music is medicine. It's so that's why for free, it makes sense that is the music for the work. working with the performers, those 3 weeks felt so rich. It allowed me, finally to see bodies take these notions, these stories from my mind, communicate it to them so that they get the intention and they understand like the emotional place that, the songs are placed. So, they'd ask me questions like, so why did you write this song? What does this song mean? What's this song for? And then I explain that to them, and then that helps them get deeper into whatever this part of the show is. So that's been really beautiful to see happen. And that's making me realize, okay, that's what's important in this process, is what's the backstory of these songs? What am I trying to say within the subtext of the songs and the lyrics? And how do I support the performers to generate the material or the approach that I'm going for with this, to then communicate that to the audience? So that's working. And I'm seeing it. It's been really cool to see the gears of that come into being and happen. Like, I'm working with very generous cast of people. Very generous cast of people. They give a lot of themselves. I think because of the way that my process is, I'm always in conversation with people, first and foremost. Which is very important. Having sharings of the work before the work is finished lets me know if I'm on track or not in terms of what I want to convey. It's also, we're building this together. I'm not building this alone.
A sense of nostalgia, because actually seeing you guys represent them, getting ready and dancing all together like a close-knit friendship group does at Subbed Up is really nice to see. You don't see that representation a lot in dance or media or whatever, because everyone's like, oh no, everyone when they go to clubs they go worship the DJ. No, they don't. They go and hang out with their friends, and it's there to concrete those friendships together. You created a sense of community with this small, amazing group of dancers that you've got.
The piece is a beautiful contribution to Black art, especially where we're at right now. We're at a very critical point, a potent point where, as we've been speaking about today, rage is something that's very much, I believe, a response to coloniality. The institutional microaggressions that people, minorities, especially Black people, have felt and expressed throughout the years. But to be able to get a perception, to see a perception, to understand it from the scope of that transformational power of joy that comes from the anger. For me, that's what the piece, it's brought me today. So I'm grateful for that.
Rage is one form of rebellion, but especially for Black people, that joy can be a rebellion, healing can be a rebellion, peace and well-being in and of itself in structural oppression is rebellion. And being joy, or embodying joy, and finding the earth and the sky and other people all together, it might be fueled by rage, but can we as a people transform that rage through catharsis into joy and eventually peace?
Most of us on this stage, we've seen a lot of Black work or been in a lot of Black work, and what the masses right now see in a lot of Black work is just rage and just anger and depression and slavery. We're bored of that. We're bored of showing that. We have joy too. We enjoy ourselves. We have inside fun. We have, Black jokes. We have Black meetings, family reunions together. We laugh too. So that is a rebellion in itself. This piece being joyful is a rebellion in itself. So from my point of view, I agree with Akeim. There's joy in rebellion.
My favorite thing that's come out of today is the post discussion of the thing. It's nice to just it's not that often when you're in a space and somebody says like, so what is freedom to you? And it just makes you like reflect on all the times when you have felt free and you realize that you have felt free and like you know what that is to you.
You personally think about having like choice and agency. You know, you can make your own decisions, and so you have, if you have agency, then you have freedom.
And I feel really free when I'm just like in really cold water, and that moment when you just don't want to get in, and then you're in, and you're just like, you don't want to get out. You know, that's freedom.
For me, freedom is being able to live how one feels, being able to express exactly how one feels authentically at all times. And freedom is to be self for all to see. For myself, I feel the most free when I'm dancing, when I'm singing, when I'm expressing, when I'm connecting with people, when I'm sharing joy cohesively, collectively.
Freedom, for me, I feel like freedom, it can be a choice. It can be anything that you want it to be. I see it as like a choice. I make sure that I choose myself to have the freedom to do the things that I enjoy. It's when you go outside and you look at the sun and you're just smiling, and those tiny little moments where you're just doing things for yourself, I think it's freedom. And you always have to choose that for yourself for it to feel like freedom.
Freedom throughout history has evolved, like the definition of it's evolved. Like if you'd have asked someone 100 years ago what freedom means, the answer would have been completely different to what we would have said today. And I think that's kind of a beautiful thing, because it's a constantly evolving thing. Like it's not just one thing that we've decided is the definition, and it's just one thing. It can be anything and everything, or nothing at all, like you said as well. Because you can have nothing and still have freedom, or you can have everything and still have freedom. So it's just a matter of perspective, in my opinion, and I think that's the most beautiful thing of it.
The fact that this is a piece that's called Free, and right now, with what has been going on in the Middle East, you know, we're not, all of us ain't really free until Palestine is free. No one is free until everyone's free. If we're here together, if we're really one. So that's also tied up into my own personal concept of freedom, because I'm saying, the soul's free, the mind's free, but then I'm aware that there's a child across the ocean who have no food today, no water, and they don't know where their mommy or daddy is. And that upsets me. And it should upset all of us. So that's another reason why I made this piece. Part 2, this in-between, I feel like we're in this in-between space of birthing this thing. So part 3 is that last stage to getting to that premiere. So there'll be the preview, there'll be the production week, where all these different elements start coming in. Because for this stage, all I've really worked with is the dancers and the music. The next stage is gonna be the dancers, the music, the costume, the setting, the lights, the feel. What's the audience? What else is gonna be with it? You know, what kind of events can we have to talk about dub music, dub culture, to talk about what freedom means to people, to talk about migration, the experience of being an asylum seeker, to talk about mental health, because the work's on freedom, there are so many different areas that it connects with. And that's super important. Amazing breakthroughs for free. I've been coming to terms with wanting to use joy as an expression of resistance. The free really resonates with that. And showing, because that is what black culture does. You know, we have that. It's miraculous. It's a miracle to see how, you know, a people who were enslaved and had, you know, different genocides and this and that happening to them, and still the culture pushed forward, the medicine pushed forward, the knowing, the knowledge, the innate knowledge pushes forward, the ancestral knowledge pushes forward. And free is that. Free is really that, you know, these celebrations, the rituals, going to a dub event feels like a ritual. You know, the base is the religion. And we love it. So that's something that's been shared with people worldwide, regardless of your color or creed. But it starts in the black community. It starts in the Afrocentric, African heritage. It starts there. That's where it starts, and then it's expanded because, you know, like I said earlier, you know, one good thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain, and everyone can identify with that. So that's another thing of springing into action for Making Free, is that realization of, okay, there is a responsibility here to communicate how powerful music, specifically reggae music, has really hit on a global scale. Reggae music hits your soul, you know? So that, I'm letting that be the driving force of how I create this work. And coming to that realization more and more every day in the studio, it felt more and more we were coming to that. And it was coming into the piece. And so that's really exciting.
They will not destroy us, 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 'cause we are the conquering lions. Yes, we are the conquering lions.